How can you bring your lyrics to life when writing a hymn arrangement, or primary song? That's what we're going to talk about today in Dr. Doug's Daily Tips for how to write great LDS church music. Today we are back in the hymnal looking at hymn 104, Jesus, Savior, Pilot Me. Now in this hymn, there's sort of the idea of being on the seas of life and being tossed in the tempestuous sea, right? Jesus, Savior, pilot me over life's tempestuous sea. Unknown waves before me roll, hiding rock and treacherous shoal. Chart and compass came from thee, Jesus, Savior, pilot me. Okay, so this hymn does a really good job in a couple key places of depicting what the lyrics are talking about. This treacherous, tempestuous, rolling sea. All right, at the very beginning, we start with the dotted 8th 16th rhythm. Nothing particularly, extraordinary about that. But right after, on Pilot, we get a new rhythm that doesn't usually fit into this kind of time signature. We get these triplets. Da-da-da-dee. A triplet feel gives the sense of rolling. Okay. Now, at this current moment in the hymn, we don't yet know what the drama is, because all we've said so far is Jesus, Savior, pilot me. We're asking him to guide us. But then the very next phrase, over life's tempestuous sea, okay, now we're getting an idea. And the first time we realize that the music is sort of depicting the lyrics is here. And then at the end of this second line as well. So in the second line, we get those little alto and tenor extras after the word roll. The alto, roll, and the tenor, roll, together. After we sing the word roll, they give us a sense of this kind of rolling. And then it happens again at the end of the line. So we're feeling tossed a little bit on the water now, okay? So it's a small detail, but giving some of your inner voices a chance to move like this gives the feel of the drama of the lyrics. Then by the last line, where, as you can see highlighted in red here again, we get the triplet, the same triplet that happened at the beginning. Now that triplet makes more sense after being rolled on the treacherous shoal. Ya-ta-ta-tum. That's another depiction of this rolling water, okay? So subtle, just, once it's done in the rhythm, this kind of bringing the lyrics to life with the triplet, and then the other time in the middle line, the lyrics are brought to life with the inner voices while the soprano and the bass are holding the longer note. All right, now it's fun to see exactly how the alto and tenor move here, so let's zoom in a little bit. They're not just moving randomly. They move, again, with important intervals. So the distance between the D and the B flat is a third, and then the distance between the G and the E flat is another third, and the distance between the F and the D is another third. So they're moving in what we call parallel thirds. All right, and that's important, because you can't just move random intervals with your inner voices, because it might sound dissonant and incorrect. The motion happens in a way that is harmonious. Third, third, third. Yet it still gives sort of a commentary on the soprano's word, on roll. Okay, same thing, but slightly different here at the end of the line. We start with the same third between alto and tenor. The alto goes up to an E flat, and the tenor goes down to a G, making the interval of a sixth. And then we come back to the D in the alto and down to a F in the tenor, which is another sixth. Now, sixths and thirds, they are your best friends when it comes to two voices moving together, because you can pretty much move as much as you want staying in thirds and sixths because they're consonant intervals. They do not create dissonances. Thirds and sixths are consonant intervals, okay? So though we start a third in the second one on the word shoal, then we go to a sixth, and then a sixth. And you'll notice that a third from, let's zoom in even further. If we had a third right here between D and B flat, and then if we took this B flat up an octave here, when you flip a third upside down, you get a sixth. That's why they work together so well, because a third is an upside down sixth, and a sixth is an upside down third. So we get parallel thirds and sixths a lot. So the lesson for today is twofold. Well, it's one lesson, but two examples. The lesson is find ways to use some of the elements in your hymn to depict the text. Okay, so the first example, again, is the triplet on the word pilot, because we're talking about a treacherous C. So we get this kind of rolling triplet in a 3/4 time signature where triplets don't naturally belong. And we get it again at the end on chart and compass came from thee. So we get a rhythmic depiction of the text. And then the second way that the text is depicted is here on the middle line, where the alto and tenor on the halfway point and the final point of line 2 do some motion while the soprano and bass are holding a half note, and it gives that sense of rolling. And it just so happens that rolling interval, the rolling moving inner voices, moves in a consonant interval of thirds and sixths. All right? So hopefully this gem will help you. I know it can. Anytime you're depicting something with your text, find a way to let the notes create an image that goes along with the text. And this is a great example of doing just that. In this particular case, it has to do with water and rolling waves. Other depictions may be different kinds of things, but see if you can find a way to use your notes, your rhythm, your intervals to depict your text. That is your composer tip for today. For more tips, free tips, in fact, head over to latterdaymusiversity.com, where you can get the 10 commandments of what I call warm, fuzzy church music. It's a free 24-page report with lots of helpful tips to help you write better hymns, primary songs, and other church music. Come back tomorrow, and we're going to look at hymn 105 for some more rolling kinds of exciting water-themed gems. See you then.